10 days stuck on a boat with a gentleman I've never met before. Woo!
Rose, so nice to finally meet you.
So you're a cop?
Used to be.
We're not gonna make it back to the boat. We need rest.
You still think I'd let your mom die?
Get me back to the boat.
Anyone have eyes on the castaway girl? I'm not afraid!
The story begins with a girl named Rose. She's covered in bruises and injuries, as if she's been in an accident, and she still looks shocked. Then the scene shifts into a flashback. Rose's mom, Alma, arrives home from work. Rose sneaks up behind her and wishes her an early happy birthday, which is the next day. Alma smiles and tells Rose to finish packing because they're leaving tomorrow for a trip with Alma's boyfriend. Rose doesn't want to go, but she agrees because her mom insists. Rose takes the car keys and heads to her night shift at the hotel. The next morning, she returns home from work. Alma is packed and ready, loading their bags into the car. Rose still isn't excited about the trip, but she agrees again for her mom's sake. On the drive, Rose asks her mom about her boyfriend. Alma admits she hasn't known him long, but believes he's a good man. Rose is surprised and can't understand how her mom trusts someone so quickly. They eventually reach their destination and meet Alma's boyfriend, Derek. He shows them a map and explains their route, saying they'll be traveling near the Bermuda Triangle and should get there by Tuesday. While Alma unloads the luggage, Rose stands under a tree, smoking. She notices a strange man walking toward her mother. Later, Rose asks about it, and Alma says the man was just asking where they were headed. Rose meets Derek properly for the first time. He tells her he bought a second-hand boat named Annalisa for their trip. Soon, the three set off across the sea. Later, they celebrate Alma's birthday on the boat. Derek gives Alma a t-shirt and hands Rose a knife as a gift. Rose then asks him about his job, and Derek explains he used to be a police officer, but now works as a private security consultant. After that, Derek shows Rose how to tie a knot and asks her to help steer the boat. Once the celebration is over, they all go outside, and Derek starts teaching her how to steer. Alma films them, taking photos and videos on her phone. Suddenly, Alma bumps into the mainsail and falls into the water. Derek quickly throws her a life jacket and tells Rose to grab a first aid kit and a blanket from inside. When Rose goes into the cabin, she's shocked to find rifles and pistols hidden there. Still, she grabs the blanket and first aid kit and heads back. By the time she returns, Derek has already pulled Alma back onto the boat. Rose hands her the blanket, and Alma apologizes, saying she dropped her phone into the water. At the same time, the weather starts getting worse, so they all go down into the cabin. Alma, who has never traveled before, suggests turning back. But Derek tells her not to worry and says the weather will clear up by morning. The next day, Rose goes back up on deck and sees the sky is clear again. Her mother is already sitting there, drinking. Rose sits next to her and admits she isn't happy and wants to go home. Alma insists the place is beautiful and tells her to enjoy it. After a while, Derek joins them. Rose asks him about the rifle she found. Derek says he keeps it for safety and because it's his hobby. Rose says she wants to try shooting, so Derek brings out the rifle and shows her how to use it. She fires a shot successfully, and Derek praises her for how good she is. Later, Rose sees another boat on her laptop's radar. She goes to the other side of their boat and uses binoculars to get a closer look. Meanwhile, Derek and Alma are drinking and call Rose to join them. She sits with them, but soon starts feeling dizzy. Rose goes to her room and falls asleep. Later, she wakes up to strange noises outside. Looking out, she sees the other boat coming straight toward them. It crashes into their boat. Two men step out and point a gun at Derek, demanding he return something. Derek says he has no idea what they mean. Alma yells at them to leave, but one of the men hits her. Rose realizes this is the same man she saw talking to her mother earlier. The others call him Captain. Rose is terrified. When Alma spots her, she tells Rose to hide. Derek keeps saying he doesn't know what they want. Suddenly, the captain shoots both Alma and Derek. Derek is hit in the shoulder and falls into the water. The captain and his partner go into the cabin and find whatever they came for. They don't notice Rose. Before leaving, they set the boat on fire. After they're gone, Rose comes out and sees flames spreading. She quickly grabs a fire extinguisher and puts the fire out. Then she finds her mother's dead body and goes into shock. By morning, Rose is alone with no idea what to do. The boat is badly damaged, and the engine won't start. She tries fixing it, but fails. Rose wraps her mother's body in a cloth, hoping to take her home for a proper burial. She breaks down crying. She tries calling for help, but all the communication equipment is burned. Suddenly, she hears a noise. She looks outside and sees Derek still alive in the water, tied with a rope. She pulls him back onto the boat and gives him water to help him recover. Rose shows Derek a device she found and asks what it is. Derek lies, saying it's just a broken spare jib. In reality, it's a distress signal device that can contact a satellite, but he tells her to ignore it and just raise the sail so the boat can move. Rose works on the sail and, after several tries, finally gets it up. The scene jumps to the next day. Derek calls her over, and she bandages his wounds. He tells her she must get the boat moving, then passes out. Rose tries to start the engine again, but nothing works. Exhausted, she sits down and finds some photos in a cabinet. In the pictures, Derek is with the same two men who attacked them. Realizing Derek has been lying, Rose ties his hands while he's still unconscious and takes his safety knife. But later, Derek is no longer where she left him. She searches and finds him downstairs. Holding the knife, she asks why he lied and why he knew the man who attacked them. Derek simply says the man is a monster and that Rose is safer not knowing the truth. He doesn't seem scared or even sad about Alma's death. He keeps talking, distracting her, and convinces her to help fix the boat. Rose feels she has no other option, so they work on the engine together, but it's completely broken. They can only rely on the wind. With the small sail, they drift forward for 2 days. On the third morning, Rose wakes up and sees an island nearby. Derek is still asleep. Without waking him, she steers the boat toward the island. But with only one sail, the boat can't get close enough. So they decide to use a raft to reach the shore. Derek agrees, but he can't row well with only one hand. Rose takes over the oar, and together they head toward the island. Suddenly, part of the oar slips from Rose's hand. When she tries to grab it, she falls into the water. She can't swim and starts drowning. Derek jumps in and pulls her to the shore. Rose isn't breathing, so he gives her CPR and revives her. When she wakes up, she looks for Derek and finds that he went into a nearby cave to get fresh water. He gives her some to drink. The island is deserted, so Rose says they need to find a way home. Derek agrees but says it will get dark soon, so they should stay the night. Together, they pull the raft up onto the shore. As night comes, Rose rests inside the raft while Derek starts a fire. She can't sleep, so she sits beside him, and they begin talking. Rose tells him her father was a soldier who died in Iraq. Then Derek starts sharing his own story, and his true nature begins to show. He says he used to be a good, honest police officer, but after 10 years of loyal service, he felt he got nothing in return. His wife left him, thinking he was a failure. After that, he went down the wrong path and began making money by working with criminals. He explains that the captain was one of the men he worked for. The men who attacked them weren't the captain himself, just his men. The captain is dangerous and smuggles young girls like Rose. Derek says he tried to outsmart him and stole something valuable. That's why the captain's men came that night, and that's why Rose's mother was killed. He says he only knew Alma for a few months and thought this trip would be peaceful. Then he casually adds that the knot Rose tied on his hand earlier was wrong. Using that as an excuse, he takes Rose's hands and ties them up instead. Rose still doesn't fully understand what's going on. Then she notices the device in a nearby bag. She asks, "You said this was broken. Why do you still have it?" Derek replies that the device can send an SOS signal to a satellite and reveal their location. But he didn't activate it because he had to deal with her first. Hearing this, Rose finally realizes the truth. She punches him, grabs the gun from the bag, and points it at him, telling him to activate the device. When he refuses, she tries to shoot, but the gun doesn't fire because Derek has the magazine. Derek attacks her. They fight, but Rose manages to escape. Derek loads the magazine into the gun and starts shooting, but none of the bullets hit her. Rose hides and manages to untie the rope around her hands. The next morning, Derek is still chasing her. Rose plans to take the raft and escape the island. She climbs down toward the shore, but Derek sees her and shoots from above. She keeps running anyway. Derek loses his balance and falls from a high ledge. When he hits the ground, Rose stops and slowly walks toward him to see if he's dead or just injured. As she gets close, Derek suddenly wakes up and attacks her with a knife. He says, "Take me back to the boat. I have the device. Without me, you can't activate it." During the struggle, he cuts Rose. She grabs a stone and hits him in the head. She takes the device from his bag, but can't get it to turn on. Derek tells her again that only he can activate it, but Rose ignores him. She leaves him behind and returns to the boat using the raft. Back on the boat, Rose bandages her wounds and eventually falls asleep. But later that night, she wakes to find the boat sinking. She quickly gathers a few important items and tries to move her mother's body onto the raft. but the body slips from her hands and falls into the water. Rose is devastated. She never wanted to leave her mother like this, but she has no choice. Crying, she watches her mother's body sink into the sea. She cuts the rope attaching the raft to the sinking boat and drifts alone in the ocean for 2 days. On the third day, she sees a boat far away and fires a flare gun. She isn't sure they saw her because of the bright sunlight, but that night, the same boat returns and rescues her. They bring her onto a large ship. Once aboard, Rose notices that everyone is armed. While they talk, she hears them mention the captain's name. She realizes these men work for the same captain Derek warned her about, and that the whole ship belongs to him. Rose stays calm and doesn't react. They give her food, and she follows them quietly. A drunk girl named Tabitha stumbles in, but a man quickly takes her away. Rose realizes she's not safe, and that there are probably more girls like Tabitha on the ship. Rose asks for a bath, and they show her to a room. Now she fully understands what she must do. If this ship is used for smuggling girls, the captain must be here too. After bathing, she goes to another room. Inside, she sees a man surrounded by others. She asks, "Are you the captain?" He says yes. Rose talks to him, slowly getting closer. Then, when she sees the chance, she hits him on the head, killing him. After killing the captain, Rose leaves the room and goes to another one where she finds Tabitha. She asks Tabitha for help. Meanwhile, the captain's men discover his dead body and panic. They start searching the entire ship for Rose. Rose asks Tabitha where the guns are kept. Tabitha says most of them are stored in the engine room and that many other girls are trapped on the ship, but they can't help because they're kept drugged. Rose heads to the engine room and finds a gun. Just then, a man walks in and sees her, but she quickly shoots him. She continues through the ship, killing the captain's men one by one as they try to stop her. She even fights and kills a woman who works for the captain. Then she faces one of the strongest men on the ship. He grabs her by the neck and beats her, but she escapes and finally shoots him dead. Rose opens a door and finds several young girls locked inside. Before she can free them, the last of the captain's men points a gun at her. The moment is tense, until Tabitha appears from behind and hits him on the head. Rose grabs the gun and shoots him. Rose leaves the girls for now and runs to the radio room to send a distress signal. There she runs into Derek. Rose is shocked. "You died on that island. How are you here?" Derek says he made a deal with the captain by giving him her information. He used the device to escape and return to the captain. He hits her and says no one can save her now. Rose laughs and says, "I already killed your captain." Enraged, Derek throws her down the stairs. He returns with a gun, but Rose has already escaped. He follows her trail of blood, but when he reaches her hiding spot, she throws chemicals on him, causing him to collapse. Then Rose takes the same knife he once gave her and stabs him in the chest, killing him for good. Exhausted and injured, Rose sits down. All of the captain's men are dead. Tabitha appears and says, "Come with me. I want to show you something." Rose follows her and sees the ship heading toward a port. The rescued girls are cheering. They're finally going home. The story returns to the beginning. Rose is telling everything to a police officer. He praises her and says all the girls have been sent home. "You'll be going home too," he adds. But Rose, heartbroken, says, "I don't want to go back. I have nothing left there." The officer gently replies, "But you have a future you fought for." Hearing this, Rose gathers her strength and prepares to start a new life.
And that's the end of the story. I hope you liked it. Comment down below what movies do you like us to recap next. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Until next time.